G'day, good people. Welcome to the Ultimate Money coin review of the day. My name's Corey, and today we're going to take a look at Ethereum Classic, a decentralized applications platform for the Internet of Things. So what is Ethereum Classic? In 2016, a venture capital fund based on the Ethereum network called the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, or the DAO, or DAO, raised $168 million for investing in smart contract projects. And the DAO was hacked due to a vulnerability in the Ethereum network, where $50 million was stolen, and the Ethereum team went into crisis mode, where they decided to split the blockchain, and that's called a hard fork, where a blockchain splits off in two. So these two new blockchains share this original blockchain, but once they split from this point, then they're two separate entities. And the reason why they did the hard fork was to render the assets that were stolen worthless, and also to reimburse the victims that had had their Ethereum token stolen. However, members of the Ethereum network rebelled against this authoritative motion to move Ethereum onto a new chain, as it compromised the promise of decentralization and immutability. And the community that rebelled against this move continued to use and develop the original chain that was meant to die off, which is now called Ethereum Classic. So Ethereum Classic really is the original Ethereum. So the Ethereum Classic blockchain is actually the original Ethereum blockchain, but it doesn't have the same development team. Okay, so what gives it value? Well, big difference with Ethereum Classic is that it has a capped supply of 230 million tokens, and all tokens will be circulated by the year 2025. So it's very similar to Bitcoin in the sense that it has a capped supply, meaning that hopefully maybe its value will also increase due to scarcity. Also, of course, Ethereum Classic has all of the services and enjoys all of the advantages and benefits of Ethereum. And the Ethereum Classic community is fervently faithful to the original decentralized values and motto that code is law. So what is some of the interesting technology behind Ethereum Classic? First off, we have the Sputnik virtual machine, which is an upgrade to the original Ethereum virtual machine. A virtual machine is used to detect and kill off any unwanted code. A big difference with the Sputnik virtual machine is that it's built for the Internet of Things, which will be the fourth industrial revolution. Also in tech, we have sidechains, which are independent blockchains that are pegged to and can work with their parent blockchain. And blockchains that are pegged together become more flexible as they can communicate with each other and share their own unique features, whilst also remaining independent in the event of an attack. And sidechaining is also a promising solution to the scalability issues, as traffic can be shared and diverted. Also in tech, Ethereum Classic is sticking with the proof of work protocol, whereas Ethereum is moving to the proof of stake protocol. And many argue that the proof of stake protocol is much more efficient than the proof of work protocol, but developers in Ethereum Classic argue that with further development, the proof of work protocol can become more efficient, and that it is also the best way to retain decentralization. So who are some of the team behind Ethereum Classic? First up, we have Igor Artamonov, who is a tech entrepreneur and the software developer who founded the Ethereum Classic development team. Artamonov was originally against the DAO, as he knew that it had vulnerabilities and that investors didn't really know what they were investing in. And he was also against the hard fork, as it would centralize the process. And since the hard fork, Artamonov has been working on the Ethereum Classic to pursue its original intention. Next up, we have Charles Hoskinson, who is the CEO of Input Output Hong Kong and a well-known developer in the crypto community, who also worked with Vitalik Buterin on the original Ethereum project. So what are some notable partnerships with Ethereum Classic? Well, first up, we have the Callisto network, or CLO, which will be released in late 2018. And this will be Ethereum Classic's first baby chain or side chain that will focus on a smart contract auditing system to benefit the decentralized application services of both chains. Also, Grayscale Investments have created an Ethereum Classic investment trust that enables investors to expose themselves to the price movement of Ethereum Classic Classic through a traditional investment vehicle. So what are the good things about Ethereum Classic? Well, first, it no longer bases its identity in protest against Ethereum. On the contrary, it has developed its own identity and is pursuing its goals with a clear vision. Also, it will never violate its principles of decentralization and the code is law, as this ethos is deeply rooted in the Ethereum Classic community and its very identity. So if it does go against these principles, then Ethereum Classic is no longer what it is promised to be. And something else that's very notable about Ethereum Classic is that it's being developed for the Internet of Things, or the fourth industrial revolution. And this separates itself quite a bit from Ethereum, which is really just a decentralized applications platform for right now, whereas Ethereum Classic is already being developed for the next wave. And of course, its sidechaining solutions to scalability are very promising preventative developments that may see it solve one of the biggest problems in cryptocurrency today. So what are the not so good things about Ethereum Classic? Of course, it doesn't currently have the reputation of Ethereum to attract investors and developers, and it's yet to secure prominent working decentralized applications that give its network use value. So it's got a long way to go in terms of people actually using its network for its services. Also, many people still believe that it exists purely as a rebellion against Ethereum due to the hard fork of 2016. And also, it has a lot of competing decentralized application platforms that may threaten to overshadow it in the future if it doesn't gain enough momentum. So what's the future for Ethereum Classic? Well, in 2018, they're improving caching for faster performance. In 2019, they're doing scalability improvements through sharding. They're hoping to reach 1,000 transactions per second. And in 2020, they're working on hybrid consensus research and mesh networks, which I'm not 100% sure what that is. But really, the gist of what I get with Ethereum Classic is they're really working on the motor functions underneath the hood to make sure that it works as best as it can with the future in mind in the event that it does gain traction and momentum. So what is my personal conclusion of Ethereum Classic? Well, Ethereum Classic didn't have much going for it when it was simply a rebellion against the hard fork of 2016. But now that time has passed, it has begun to carve its own definitive path that stays true to the original decentralized and immutable ethos that Ethereum originally promised. With the addition of its capped 230 million tokens while supplying all of the benefits of Ethereum, Ethereum Classic has adopted the nickname the Bitcoin of decentralized applications, which is a pretty powerful nickname. However, it does need a large number of promising applications to adopt its network to gain the traction needed to excel, and if it is unable to do this, then it may be overshadowed by an increasingly competitive market. Thanks for watching today, good people. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and head to www.ultimatemoney.com.au where you can find all your crypto news, reviews, and how-tos. My name's Corey. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you next time.